Hola, amigos. You are tuned in to Intelligent Thoughts. My name is Dustin Coyle. This is the daily wager for Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, 2017. Alrighty, this has been a weird week, I will say. Minus the play on both sides of a parlay, we are haven't lost a bet yet, so it's a little bit sketchy. That's always a little bit sketchy when these runs happen, but playoff basketball is not that fucking difficult to call a lot of the time. Yesterday again, 1-0. The Golden State Warrior parlay with the Wizards works out well. In the first game, Washington wins 116-89 over the Celtics. It was a pretty ridiculous game. There were 8 technical fouls, 3 ejections. Kelly Oubre literally just fucking body checked Kelly Olynyk, knocked him to the fucking ground. They went on a 22-0 first quarter run, made it 34-12. Get 24 points from John Wall, 19 from Porter, 19 points and 10 rebounds for Bogdanovic off the bench. Good overall performance. Only 11 from Beal. You got to see that up. You got to see that get a little higher there. In the L, you get only 13 points out of Isaiah. That's, 2 days after he put up 53. Horford leads the way with 16 points. Just 2 rebounds for Horford. Crowder with 14. Pretty pitiful performance there for the Celtics. In the second game, Golden State, they win 115-104 at home over Utah. Once again, they actually played pretty well, to be honest with you. They lose by 11. They cover the spread. The Jazz 2-0 against the spread on the road here at Golden State. Really not that bad. It's really not bad at all. Golden State in the win, 25 points, 11 boards, 7 assists from Kevin Durant. Mainly free throw shooting there. Draymond hits 5 threes, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 fucking steals. Great game from him. Steph Curry, 23 points, 7 assists. It's another 5 threes for him also. Only 4 people even made any threes for the Warriors. They made 14 of them, but it was all, the 2 I just mentioned. Klay Thompson had 2. Ian Clark had 2. Gordon Hayward has 33 points in the loss. Rudy Gobert, 16 and 16 in the loss after he fouled out in the fourth quarter, though. Not a terrible performance by Utah, especially with George Hill not playing. I think that you got some stuff that you can kind of look at and think that when you go back home, you might be able to at least win one of the games, and hopefully win 2 of them. You play the Warriors. Seemingly, they play the Warriors better than just about anybody in the league, other than the Cavs, we'll say. And so I don't know. Kind of interesting there, but still a great win for Golden State. All right, that takes us to today. We have 2 games. It's going to be the same things that we had on Monday and Wednesday, the same 2 games. It's going to be a different scenario, though. 2 different road teams here. Let's start with Game 1. ESPN, 5 o'clock. Game 3, the Toronto Raptors hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers, down 2-0. Honestly, at the beginning of the season, and even just basically if there wasn't injury news here, I was more than ready to take Toronto Game 3 money line. I think a lot of people were as well. Last night they were a plus 110, Cleveland a minus 130. So it looked like, I was actually surprised. I thought that we were going to see maybe a minus 120 or something like that. But still, Toronto looking good. A lot of people had picked this series to go to 7 games or even 6. If any of that were to be the case, Game 3 is kind of a must for Toronto here. Unfortunately, Kyle Lowry is questionable. That sprained ankle that he suffered in Wednesday's game. He didn't practice yesterday. They are unsure whether or not he's going to play today. Obviously going to be a major factor. They're going to have him healthy and playing well alongside DeRozan, also playing well in order to beat the Cavs, I think. Everybody seems to be good to go for Cleveland, and otherwise everybody seems to be good to go also for Toronto. So let's take a peek at the spread. Righty. Just this morning was plus 2.5 for Toronto. Right now it's plus 4.5 for Toronto. People are obviously reading the Kyle Lowry news and kind of jumping on it, trying to get some early ducats for Cleveland. As I just said, Cleveland was a 130 favorite last night. Right now they're a minus 183. Toronto a plus 163. This one's a really tough one to call here. If Kyle Lowry doesn't play, I like Cleveland minus 183 or even up to maybe like a 210, 230 situation. If Kyle Lowry does play, see, this is the trick. If he was 100% healthy, I would take Toronto. But with him, if he is questionable right now, that kind of puts him in a 50-50 type of a position. He might not play the whole game. He might re-injure it. All sorts of things might happen. So I don't put a lot or a ton of faith in that. What I say here on this one is just wait till the last minute or until you get, if they're, just keep Googling Kyle Lowry every fucking 30 minutes. And then if there's a story that says he's out, go put ducats on Cleveland. If there's a story, if it just stays questionable, stays questionable, stays questionable, I say maybe stay away from the game until you hear word whether he is or isn't going to play. You can always do that last minute betting right before the game starts. All right, game 2 of the evening. 7:30 p.m. ESPN. We have the Houston Rockets hosting the San Antonio Spurs for Game 3. This series tied 1-1. And the most significant news of this game is another point guard injury problem. Seem to be a lot of them. George Hill, Kyle Lowry, and now Tony Parker. Tony Parker had surgery to repair a ruptured left quadricep tendon. He couldn't walk. I'm sure you guys saw him. He had to get carried off the court by his teammates, 2 teammates, during the game on, Wednesday. And yesterday he underwent surgery. He's going to be out for the remainder of the season, which is really unfortunate. Tony Parker, underrated, especially as a catalyst for that team. Very, very intelligent, which is obviously what you need in a point guard. He had 18-4 that day before he went out. Harden had a terrible game, too, in the loss. He went 3 for 17, just 13 points. It's going to be pretty crucial for him to get playing somewhere around the level that he played in the regular season in order for them to beat the Spurs. But right now, you have to think that it's somewhat likely. With Tony Parker out, you're going to have a pretty massive series from Patty Mills. Not impossible. Patty Mills is quick. He's fast. He's a good shooter. He is somebody that could have that series, but it's obviously going to be a problem because he's normally been the spark off the bench. So you're now going to have to find that with a small guard as well. So this game in Houston, I think that matters, but not terribly. I don't think that this series matters too much with home court advantage. San Antonio last year was a great home team. They only lost once. This year, not so much. So still a great home record. They had a great record overall though, but 31-10 at home. So basically, the home record was the difference between them and Golden State's record, essentially, other than one game, a one-game difference otherwise. So, what was Houston's home record? 30-11. So they basically have the same home record. I guess okay. They both have pretty good home court advantages. It doesn't seem to play too well against each other, though. They both play pretty damn well on the road as well, especially San Antonio. Alrighty, let's take a peek at the spread. Where are you? There you go. All right, you're looking at Rockets -5. Money line. -214, +184 for the Spiggity Spurs. I saw this at, -190 last night, +165. I think that unless Kawhi goes MJ, which looks like it's more and more possible. His skills are fucking ridiculous. He might be the most skilled player somehow in the NBA. He actually might be the most skilled player in the NBA, which doesn't seem likely. He's not too flashy. He can be at any point, though. His ball handling is ruckus. His shot making ability is maybe the best in the NBA. He might be the best shooter in the NBA as far as like mid range, like just scoring the basketball at like a high peak, high rate. I mean, he's fucking incredible. Unless he does that tonight, though, and goes for like 40 something. I mean, I expect him to hit 30, but unless he goes for 40 or something like that, and they'll need to get a big performance. They'll need to get two guys up around 20 points to win this game. I like Houston minus 214. I don't mind that at all. I'm surprised it actually wasn't as big of a spread as the Spurs were getting, like a 250, like a minus 250 or whatever when they were in San Antonio. I'm surprised it wasn't pretty much the exact same spread this way. I like that 214 there. Also, NBA series, I was talking about this. Let's take a peek at the odds that they're giving right now for the Spurs-Rockets series here. Rockets minus 120, Spurs plus 100. Yesterday, I think it was a minus 115, minus 105, so it's a little bit going towards the Rockets. I don't think that's bad at all. How about the Cavs? Minus 4,000. That was a minus 350. I actually put money on that before game one at a minus 350 for the Cavs to win the series. Crazy odds, right? It sucks, though. I had to go against my long odds bet for the Raptors to win the championship at a 40-1. I did one of those. I also have the Rockets at a 20-1. I think we talked about this. But those odds aren't too bad there. I don't think I'm gonna put any ducats on the Rockets here, series price, but it's really not that bad, honestly. And if they win tonight, that's gonna jump up into the probably 300 range or something like that. All right, so that's the end of the basketball and shit like that. Seeing as it is Cinco de Mayo, we will talk. I'm gonna do a breakdown of a boxing match here in a couple of minutes, but we'll talk about it here on the wager too. Tomorrow, man, the Battle of Mexico here. We have Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., and he is taking on Canelo Alvarez. Canelo, you know, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Chavez Jr., very good, but not the same acumen here. Canelo 48-1-1, his only loss to Floyd Mayweather. He's just been knocking the shit out of everybody, honestly. Maybe the scariest dude, maybe the scariest puncher in boxing. Not super sure, though. On the other side, though, Cesar Chavez Jr., his record stands at 50 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 1 no contest. Both of those 2 losses are more recent, too. Sergio Martinez beat him back in, well, not more recent, 2012, back when he was the champion. And then Andres Fafara beat him as well to take his championship from him. This one's going to be a good one here. I think Chavez Jr. is a little bit underrated. He is 6'1", Canelo 5'9". He's going to stand 4 inches taller than Canelo, 2.5 inches on the reach. Great footwork. I think the Canelo probably wins this fight, but I see it as like a 2-1 or a 3-1. Maybe minus 300 is where I think that Canelo should be. Chavez Jr., good pure boxer, good boxing skills. He's been doing it his entire life. He has the ability to just kind of stick and move, stay on the outside, turn this into a boxing match. You know, maybe an ugly fight, a boring fight, but you know, still a fight that he can win there. Canelo, likely KO favorite, you know what I'm saying? He's been knocking everybody out. And so that's going to be the likely favorite that we're going to see here. But as far as the money line, let's take a look. It's Canelo minus 600, Julio plus 450. I think I'm going to put a little bit of ducat on Julio plus 450 on a long shot favorite. Like I said, I think that Canelo should be like a minus 300 or maybe like a plus 300 in that range for Chavez. So I think plus 450, there's a little bit of wiggle room there for some money. It's completely understandable why nobody wants to take it. Canelo is a fucking monster. I'd like to see what the odds are for him getting the KO victory. I can't really pick those up, but you know, I definitely think that he'll probably win the fight. But I think that there's more than a slight chance that Chavez gets the upset. Alrighty, so that's going to bring us to the end of the show.